Golden Jubilee. Back in the autumn, a spider had found a warm corner underneath the signal box at the junction. She had woven a web pointed at one end and shaped like a funnel, and for a while she lived very well on what she had caught in it. Now it was spring, and the spider had moved on. She knew nothing about the preparations for the Golden Jubilee, remarked Henry gloomily. Said Donald, put in Daisy. She had been shy about living in the big shed at first, but was getting used to it now. Agreed Duck, admitted James. The other engines agreed, except Henry. He muttered darkly. But by the time Jubilee Day arrived, Edward's wheel and Thomas's branch line were both mended. The Fat Controller told Edward he was to run ahead of the special train to make sure that the line was clear. He asked excitedly. Smiled the Fat Controller. Crowds began to gather at the big station. There was to be a red carpet, speeches, and a special luncheon for the visitors, remarked Gordon. As the special train drew to a halt, Emma grinned happily at Edward. She asked. At the junction, a breeze blew into the room beneath the signal box. It wafted the old spider's web between two electrical contacts. At once, everything in the signal box stopped working. Signals went to danger. Points could not be moved, exclaimed the signalman. Edward stopped outside the signal box. Thomas, Percy, Toby and Mavis were already waiting. The signalman told Edward's driver. Carefully, men with flags sent the trains on their way. Edward went first, with a letter for the Fat Controller telling him what had happened. Pip and Emma went next. Finally, Thomas and the branch line engines were allowed through. At the big station, the crowd was now enormous. The Fat Controller looked impatiently at his watch. Gordon, Henry and James had got the best places at the platform, said James happily. Grumbled Henry. Just then they heard a whistle, said Gordon. But we know Gordon was wrong, don't we? Pip and Emma soon drew in, and onto the red carpet stepped a royal personage, said the Fat Controller, and he explained what had gone wrong. Then he introduced the royal visitor to each of the engines. He told them, the engines whistled loud and long. The royal personage grinned and covered his ears. He told the Fat Controller,